Everybody, Jason Burmis here, and as always, despite the fact there are no professional sports right now, and there is no mixed martial arts, we're doing mixed martial mindset anyway. A lot to talk about. We've actually had some fun the past few weeks, eh, John?
Yeah.
You know,
It's kind of all blends together as one big day, kind of. But yeah, here we are.
here we are. So John Fitch with me. Fitch, I checked out your interview with Zwick over in Thailand.
Oh yeah, Mike Swick. Yeah, he was. Mike's a little bit of a hypochondriac, and he's not handling it well. he's not feeling real good about people being out and about on the beaches. He was not happy about seeing that.
There's a lot. I mean, before we get into Zwick, before we get into quarantine, I want to get into the latest numbers because I still have people telling me, John, that I'm a shill, I'm a liar, the whole thing's a hoax, nobody's dying, etc., etc. I'm going to disprove that yet again and lose about 100 subscribers in this video. We're going to go over how Fight Island apparently was an Epstein Island. Breaking Epstein news. I know.
That's wild.
Wild indeed. But first, guys, I want to let you guys know about johnfitch.net. You can go to johnfitch.net. You can check out everything John Fitch, including the YouTube channel where you can check out John Fitch Knows Nothing with Mike Swick, correct?
Yes, you can. You can check that episode out. You should go to click on the stones because today is 420.
Oh. Yeah, see, John, let me let you in on a little 420 secret that you're not going to love.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm all about smoking marijuana. It's a daily thing. I don't need 420. I don't need to be 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever. I don't need a holiday. I don't need to entice idiocy. Were you aware that April 20th is actually the birthday of Hitler? Yeah, my friend. Hate to tell you.
Hey, is that not real?
That is as real as it gets, dude. It's real.
They try to ruin.
I'm telling, dude. Every time you think you know what something's really about, some dark shit has happened on 420. By the way, because of Hitler's birthday. Also, April 20th. The Columbine massacre, because they chose Hitler's birthday to do it. Some real dark things. What's not dark is a tasty blunt, folks. I can unless it's of the darker variety. It is a little dark, not too dark, but that's not what this is because I want to get remonetized on YouTube, and pigs will fly.
CBD's nuts.
So thegruelingtruth.com, guys, that's where you can find the audio version of this podcast. We post it the next day. Also find John Fitch Knows Nothing over there, right?
Yes, you can.
And I would be remiss before we got going, and by the way, thumbs this video up, not to hawk the Rockfin, because tomorrow, guys, is Super Tuesday. A lot of big names on Rockfin. I go live at noon Eastern, and you can watch that for free. We make it premium later, but you can just sign up now, watch all the free content. And John, you got some premium content coming tomorrow?
I go live at 3 on the left coast.
And what is that? That's the Boomer and Toots, right?
That's Boomer and Toots. Yep. We'll be talking about all the cool stuff.
What was this week's Boomer and Toots all about?
Man, what was it about? It's it seems like it was so long ago.
6 days, huh?
6 days. Seems like forever ago. I don't know why. A lot has and has not happened. It's all a loop, man.
You know what? I'm trying to break it up. It's weird because there is no, I'm going to go do something this weekend. It does all blend together. I'm still getting up. Me and the kids are doing the P90X, trying to get the Fitch gun show going. Who knows? Probably not going to get there.
I'm doing a lot of band work, a lot of extra stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you using bands just to do it, get it in?
Yeah, just to hit things a different way. Like some of my curls and tricep stuff, mix it up instead of using the bar. That way I can do a little bit lighter weight, get a little different range of motion because I've got some issues. So I'm able to slow down and focus on some stuff and work through some areas that have been sticking or kind of weak, So working on shoulders and a lot of extra stuff like that. It helps. It's good to have the extra time. But I'm also like carbon out a little bit here and there.
Yeah, didn't you
And
say you were like almost you were 218?
oh my god, yeah. I was 280. I'm 218 today. But like
Wow.
my body composition isn't bad, so I think I'm kind of getting thick. Put on a little extra
Well,
muscle.
I mean, you gotta have like I met you're like 3 inches taller than me. What are you like 6'1", 6'2"?
I'm 6 foot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a short guy. I'm like 5'10" if I'm lucky. And I mean, Fitch is a big. When you think, man, this guy makes 170, guys, I get on the scale every day, and if I'm in shape, I can hit 190. Like right now, I think I hit it this morning was like 203. And yeah, there's a baby in here. But but I don't have shoulders like Fitch. Fitch looks like he could grab you from across the room. I promise you I can't do that. To make 170 is an incredible feat, and that's why, John Fitch, you have an Amazon weight cutting book, correct?
I do.
Why
I
don't you tell the
do.
folks
The
about
weight
that?
cut Bible. I've got it. I got it ready. Yeah. My weight cut is really easy. It's very tactical. It's very consistent. Like I can tell where my weight's going to be, what it's going to be. I don't get fluctuations. I don't have like surprise extra pounds. I know exactly what it takes to lose the weight. So I shared the steps I take over the 8 week period in a fight camp to get down to weight, and then at the end I have what I actually do to cut the last little bit of weight to make it, because we generally lose about 8 to 12 pounds of water weight right before the weigh in, and then we'll put that water weight back on if we're doing it right.
Yeah, I was catching. I think it was on Rockfin, because I was scrolling through checking out your content, and I saw some crazy motherfucking video where you just kind of had a shot from your knees down, and you were coming out of the sauna
Yeah.
and just stripping
So
down.
that was the workout I talk about in the book. Is the weight cutting workout? Is the night before the weigh-ins. I put on my plastics, put my sweatsuit and stuff on, and I do a specific workout every time. And I can kind of tell how much weight I'm going to lose because I do the same routine. And that was me when I finished after I'd done everything, and I started peeling off the layers to see how much weight I'd lost.
I mean, the only thing I can relate to, guys, and I know you guys are gonna think I'm fucking gross, but I'm a fucking rocker. I miss going to the fucking shows, and especially when I was a young lad, man, I would always bring a pair of fucking. I'd usually bring a pair of like pants or athletic pants or something later. I wouldn't want to wear the athletic pants in there because there's a lot of times you get knocked down. It's usually concrete, scrape up. So a good pair of jeans. But I would wring my shirt out in my fucking jeans when I got out of there. And I mean, you're talking about just the most disgusting amount of sweat and water. You would be surprised what the human body can hold. And if you do have a premium account, I would encourage you to check that out to see what a fighter goes through because it looks almost inhuman. Let let's segue it, Fitch. Fight Island, rumored to have been owned by Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I would imagine that it
This is
wouldn't
this is
have
the first time
been.
I'm hearing about this. So this is I thought this was a joke when you first mentioned this to me. This
Guys,
is a real thing. This is a real life, real. This is real. This is insane.
I mean,
It
it's
was
got, it's
on.
got
It
a
was
great
on. It
thumb.
was on sale. It was on sale because it was an ex-pedophile island. Hey Dana, we can get you a real good deal on this spot.
UFC Fight Island seems to be one of the few places on Earth to host MMA events. Though the island may have an incredibly dark past, it has been rumored to have been owned by Jeffrey Epstein. The sports world is still reeling from the effects of the onvid, COVID, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. That's Fight Island. Where did Schaub say this? Here he goes. He said, "Have you heard this rumor? I've heard from legit sources." It's Jeffrey Epstein's old island, Schaub told MMA journalist Luke Thomas on Below the Belt. Damn, Luke, that's a big get.
So who had the legit sources, Luke or Brennan Schwab?
Schaub's telling Luke.
How does Schwab have a reliable source?
If he's still boys with somebody in an old fight camp that was going to fight on the island, remember they're supposed to have a card on May 9th. And there was a lot of people that were
Like no
supposed.
one's gonna find out. Like no one's gonna be like, oh, by the way.
Yeah, but if it's not, like I said, if it's the second island, John, right? If it's not
Mm,
Little St. James, if it's
okay,
Greater
that's the
St.
one with
James,
like the cathedral thing on it.
well, I'm just saying, yeah, exactly. It's not the Tim
Okay.
Dillon like Halloween
Mm.
costume that was hilarious. Yo, he killed it with that.
That guy
Yo,
is
I'm gonna
ridiculous.
shout out Tim Dillon. Props to
Tim
Tim
Dillon is
Dillon.
ridiculous.
Well, he went on Rogan and he pushed back on how great Bill Gates is. So I thought that was great. You know, he pushed back on Rogan saying Bill Gates was a good guy, talked about vaccines and stuff, but he also had Whitney Webb on to discuss the next part of this Epstein story. All right? Because just this week, as I was telling you, John, artistic whistleblower who is Maria Farmer, she's this woman right here. Maria is the first person ever to go to not only the New York Police Department, but the FBI on Jeffrey Epstein. You know what year that was, John?
Mm-mm.
That was in 1996. That is before you and I graduated high school, my friend. And yet,
Wow.
it took, I believe, 25 more years for him to not kill himself. Something like that, around 25 more years for him to not kill himself, folks. Totally makes sense.
So what is her what's her connection to everything?
Oh, well, I'm so glad that you asked. So, as you know, there's all this paperwork and lawsuits between Virginia Giuffre Roberts, right, the very famous whistleblower, and
Hmm.
Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, and in particular, Alan Dershowitz. Now, Alan Dershowitz is
Representing
what's that?
Epstein? Is he representing Epstein?
Well, he did. He was not only Epstein's lawyer, but Virginia Giuffre Roberts said that she had sex with him. So she's accused him of being a pedophile and having sex with her. Now, he has always denied this. All right? So he filed a defamation suit against her first. Then she had to countersue for defamation. And it was kind of a he said, she said thing. Maria Farmer steps in just to clarify things because she is the one that first reported Epstein to the FBI and nobody did anything. Okay? And her story's totally been ignored. And the key here is that Dershowitz says that they weren't good friends and, you know, he barely knew him. Maria Farmer says she was the door, well, not says, she was the door girl at the New York mansion. Okay? The infamous New York mansion from 95 to 96 for over a year. And she says there were underage girls in there daily, at least 3 to 5 at a time, sometimes more. And they would go upstairs and for modeling. And Dershowitz was there all the time, and he would go upstairs. So she came out just to kind of defend and also say, hey, by the way, the Palm Beach stuff from 2008, I went to the police in the late 90s, and her sister was also molested by Epstein. Maria Farmer was of age when she was trafficked. Her younger sister was molested by Epstein when she was younger. It's going to get crazier for you, okay? Going to get a whole lot crazier. So Maria Farmer, and by the way, she just tweeted at me. And there are people accusing me, you know, first of all, I don't have any nurse sources in New York City. And don't worry, we'll get to COVID 1984 and the real death numbers, and you can unsubscribe to me then. But also, people have not believed that Maria Farmer actually contacted me. Maria Farmer, months ago, John, I did a video about Ghislaine Maxwell, the infamous pimp. You're aware of her, correct?
Yeah.
And basically how she was on the run, and I mentioned her story. I was like,
She had like the weird fake staged photo thing going on too, right?
yes.
Jelaine.
Well, now she's revealed that, first of all, the media never told her story. The police never went after him. We're going to tell some of Maria's story right now. She also said about Ghislaine Maxwell that Ghislaine Maxwell had like 4 different passports from different states. And guess who her partner in crime of recruiting young girls was? You're never going to guess
Jackson.
this one. You wouldn't get it in a million years. You ready?
Who?
Donald Trump's first wife, Ivanka Trump. She said that Ivanka and Ghislaine would go and recruit girls as young as 12 sometimes daily, and bring them in as Victoria's Secret's models for a guy named Les Wexner. So, going back to that Ghislaine Maxwell video I was telling you about, right? I had mentioned her story in that, and I saw in the comments section that an artistic whistleblower said, "You're right." She's like, "I know. I was there. I saw." She's the one that said that she saw manned rooms where they were taping every single room 24/7. She blew the whistle in 96, John. All right? So she goes, and Les Wexner is the head of the snake. So who's Les Wexner? Les Wexner is a guy that they portray as this fashion mogul. Oh, he owned Victoria's Secret and L Brands. But in reality, he's a huge policy guy. He helped keep us in the war on terror after we took down Saddam through lies and his Wexner Foundation. He's an arms dealer with Epstein in this network, a trafficker in young girls with Epstein in this network, and she tried to expose him to all these media organizations, and guess what, John? Guess what? They wouldn't tell her story. Wexner recently sold L Brands and Victoria's Secret, and they said, "Oh, he's never done anything. He's a harmless old man, that Wexner." So, I mean, big things are coming, Fitch. She said things like this. She said that Vicky Ward, you know, that journalist that broke the story in Vanity Fair way back in the day? She told all this to Vicky Ward. And Vicky Ward had to go to court against Vicky Ward. She called Vicky Ward a monster. Yeah, oh yeah. She's said that Vicky Ward is the one that told Ghislaine Maxwell that she went to the FBI. Let's get to why she went to the FBI in the first place in 96.
She's on the take. She's got to be on the take, right?
Oh, worse than that. John, wait till you hear this story. It's fucking incredible. So, the original story about her going against Epstein is that she's in Wexner's mansion as a private artist. She basically got moved there, right? Because this is how this whole thing works. And one night, fucking Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell tried to sexually assault her, and she ran away and locked herself in a room. Now, she says that Wexner's right-hand man had threatened to kill her and was going to kill her, and that's like a big bodyguard. He's currently Will Smith's bodyguard, by the way, according to her. She says the only reason that she was not killed is because she locked herself in a room and she literally just began calling every single person she knew, saying that they were going to kill her there, including 2 billionaires and a fucking famous artist who all vouched for her after the fact that she did this. And she says she was like held hostage at this place at Wexner's for 3 months before this even, was resolved. Craziness, right?
So did she file any police reports?
Yes! She went to the police and the FBI in 1996 with all this stuff. She also said that
they didn't have any interest in the case. They're like, they said, "Oh, thank you for your time. We'll be in contact." Or did they even say that?
Dude.
Oh, wow. That's an incredible story. Bye. Thanks for sharing.
She talked about how all the maids at the residences, including the ones in New York that were from the Philippines and Central America, were stolen. And how when she asked them about it, she's like, "We were stolen." Like literally stolen people and trafficked there to be maids. That's the kind of level of fucking shit that was going down. She thinks they killed a bunch of these girls. Remember what I told you? That Courtney Love's father contacted me and we talked. And he said that Courtney Love told her that some of those girls, they took them out in the desert in New Mexico and that was a wrap. Dark times, John. Dark times. So, guys,
people disappear all the time, I guess.
I mean, I don't know what to tell people. Again, everybody's so skeptical of everything I say these days because I'm telling the truth about COVID 1984, and we'll get to that in a minute. But
chaperone your kids. people on their trips. Concealed carry.
Yeah, well, first of all,
Chaperone your kids.
you don't send your young girl out to be a model. You don't send your young
Go,
kid
yeah,
out.
go live with these people I don't really know for months at a time. This makes sense. Oh, you're gonna stay with R. Kelly? Awesome.
Oh,
Like, what is? Like, I
so
mean,
where's
yeah,
Wexner? I want to
yeah.
show people.
Don't blame the victim, but like, parents,
I know it. Let's see. Can
get
we
your head out of your
find?
ass.
There it is, right there. So that's one of her paintings, guys. That's Les Wexner at the bottom, and that is Ghislaine Maxwell. And notice
Lizard lady.
behind my head, it says NSA
Mm.
in the shot glass. Just saying.
Eyeballs.
What's that?
The eyeballs in the shot
And
glass.
sure looks like eyeballs.
Mm.
It's good stuff, Maria. Thank you for sharing the story and trying to get it out. Now this is going to be rolling. Hopefully, I'm going to have her on. She's already talked to Whitney Webb. Webb has taped that interview, put it out with like the Last Vagabond or the Last American Vagabond, Tim Dillon, and more. So people need to check that out. So John,
Interesting.
California. What can you tell me lately? What's the vibe on the coronavirus over there?
I don't know, man. Like I don't go out that much 'cause I do most of my work from home and I'm taking care of the kids. So when I do get out and drive, it's usually for supplies or something. I did pick up a friend the other day in Sunnyvale. I was surprised to see the amount of people in their cars. A lot of places were shut down, malls were shut down. I went to In-N-Out. The drive-through wasn't that long. There's a few places that look like there's businesses open that had staff with masks. That was, like food places.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, excuse me. But yeah, the vibe seems tense a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know how I haven't interacted with that many people and talked to people in person, so it's hard to get a real vibe.
I mean, I'm in a smaller area, but at the same time, much closer to an epicenter. You know what I mean? So I
Hmm.
talked to my National Guard buddy because I wanted to know whether because he was, before all this, this was supposed to be his last training session, and he was going to be released. You know what I mean? He wasn't going to do any more. He didn't even have another weekend to do or any of that. This was it.
Hmm.
And they did. They activated his unit. And he is a medical guy, too, which is also interesting. He works as a police officer at one of the colleges in upstate New York. Otherwise, he was National Guard. So half of the unit went to Schenectady, which is right outside of Albany, which is where they are shipping some of the patients up here. Now, like we talked about last week, it's basically known now a ventilator is an 80% death sentence, and they're using a lot less ventilators in treatment. I mean, that's mainstream media, mainstream news. So
Hmm.
that and the hospitalizations have slowed down. So
Yep.
while half the unit is in Schenectady doing that and making tests so that they can start doing massive testing and possibly, I didn't ask them whether
Hmm.
or not it was going to be the antibody test, but we put that in there. And then the other half is in New York City moving bodies. Like legitimately moving bodies like that, and people just didn't want, yeah, they don't want to believe it, they're getting them from rental vans, but yes, they're moving bodies in mass. And everybody that thinks that they're overinflating the numbers, I want to show everybody this right now, just very quickly. And again, you can believe whatever you want about what they're dying from, but people are dying, okay? I want to make that extremely clear, okay? So if
Hmm.
you look at this, and John's head might be a little bit in the way, but you can kind of make it out. So this is, if you look at it, between April 17th and all the way from April 17th, the previous 37 days. So today's the 20th, okay? In that time, we had 22,374 deaths, okay? Now, everybody says that they're just marking people down COVID, all right? I just want everybody to know the numbers are right above me for up until 3 days ago. They said 8,448 are confirmed. So if you're going to argue that they're just marking everybody COVID, let's argue that number first. Okay? That's what they're confirming.
Hmm.
Probable. That's 4,264. Now, if that were it, we would still have a massive discrepancy in the normal amount of deaths, okay?
Yeah.
But there's another 9,662 people that they, now again, not all those are going to be COVID deaths, but that's the unknown deaths, okay? So that means they might be or they might not. So you know what that isn't, John? That's not a gunshot wound. That's not a car accident. That's none of those things. That's like, hey, maybe it happened. All right. So
You
let's
could
look at.
have passed out coughing and hit your head when you fell down and died of a head wound.
Exactly. Very, very much so. So that's something that could be an unknown death. Okay.
Real life.
So let's look at this. On average, 149 people die in the city. Now, during the month of March and April, I think it's higher. It's something like 160. So let's even up it. So in normal
warmer,
times,
everybody gets stabby.
yeah. Well, I'm just saying, in a normal 37-day period, okay, from March 11th to April 17th, let's give them 6,000. I'm going to give them 6,000 deaths. That would mean an additional, okay, because again, how many deaths do we have? 22,000. So just subtract that 6,000. I mean, come on, guys. You're looking at over 16,000 more people dying. Do you not get it? In New York City in 37 days than on average. Do you think that they just made that number up? That's what I don't get. People still want to be in denial. And again, they'll be in denial that they're marking everybody COVID. There are 13,000 plus deaths here. And by the way,
what if this is secretly the government's way of getting rid of all the homeless people?
you know what? As I told you, John, there's actually a really interesting story out there.
We started going back to work and everything, and then we're like, hey, man, there's like no homeless
John,
people anymore.
What I keep saying to you, man, I kept saying, they want to talk about, the borders and, the homeless, and they're the ones that are going to spread it. Those fuckers have immune systems like fucking mayhem, bro.
Cockroaches.
They just tested a bunch of them, and 149 of them were completely asymptomatic. I'm gonna type in the homeless tests. It wasn't New York, but we're gonna get to that. Let me just finish up on this death thing quick. All right, because a lot of people still don't believe that a lot of people are dying, John. There were 15 pages of obituaries, okay, in the Boston Globe's paper in Sunday. Does anybody think that's normal? Like
15
pages.
Holy jeez.
Yeah, and I have people saying, well, they all looked old. We already established that if you're older and you have pre-existing conditions, that this is going to kill you. Other people are dying, and even those people are somebody's husband, mother, father, grandparent. I mean, my God. That's real, guys. I just want to put it out there. And to the point of it being a bioweapon, yes, it is attacking men more. It's more fatal for men. And guess what? It's lingering in our testicles.
What?
Yes.
You get Cov D from your testicles?
All I'm saying is this, John. People that remember,
So what, your kids are going to be born with Cov D or what? What does that even mean?
All right, so let's look at it this way. You know how we've talked about people that have survived but had a bad go of it, and they have cystic fibrosis type things going on in their lungs, right?
Yeah.
Well, apparently, people that have had a bad go of it and survive, who have balls, also have damage to their testicles, and they're less fertile afterwards.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, what? But it's not a bioweapon. Except for if you could say it's not a bioweapon from a lab in China at this point, because that's what they're saying in Kennedy.
They're trying to neuter us.
Dude, I'm just saying. I don't believe this thing is out of a lab in Wuhan.
Maybe the feminists set off a bioweapon.
It's from a lab for sure. But
exterminate all men.
And again, anybody can go and check out New York State's real numbers, and I want to point them out again. But in 2017, and yes, these are similar in 16 and 15, I brought them up, The number of people in a year that died from pneumonia, which is what you would die from if you had the flu, is 4,179 for the year. Did you just see the numbers I posted, guys? Are we there? Can we agree people are dying yet? I hope we can. Again, just because we're dying, just because it's happening, doesn't mean I'm pro lockdown. That's the other thing. Everybody's like, well, you want the boot on your neck. No, I don't. I don't. Cuomo for the first time today talked about a treatment and not a vaccine. That actually made me happy because I'm not taking any fucking vaccine.
Yeah, Newsom mentioned that stuff too. He pushed back. I was wrong with my prediction about them openly pushing back to the on the 17th.
That's right.
I kind of think I was right though, because they did mention first week of May, and I think that they use words, for a reason.
Well, I think that
So they're already edging it past April 30th to beginning of May.
Well, Cuomo suspended things, any events through June, or De Blasio did today. So, again,
so California is acting like they want to get back to operating, businesses.
well,
So,
upstate New York in Niagara, like I was telling you, there was, you know what? I wanted to do that homeless test one, homeless corona test before I forget that. But then that Niagara one is, let's see. Here it is. Testing reveals stunning asymptomatic coronavirus spread among Boston's homeless. Here it is right here. Out of 397 people tested, 146 of them came up positive. But seriously, think about that. That's 36% of that group. Remember how I've talked about this is way, way more infectious, but I've also said the caveat is that it's probably very asymptomatic. So all this testing is kind of, I've said it from the beginning, was almost meaningless because, again, if your kids get it and they're asymptomatic and they're spreading it through the household.
Yeah, there's no way they can really open up businesses until there's a reliable test.
Let's just say people are right, and this is just as deadly as the flu, right? 0.1%, right? One in 1,000 it kills. Yeah, that might be true, but what if it's 3 to 4 times as infectious? So then, even though it's 0.14% mortality rate, because we're seeing, again, a group of almost 400 people, and over a third of them have it. You know what I'm saying? Over a third of them have it, and none of them are showing symptoms. Now, these, like I said, these are the grinders. These are the people that are living under fucking the worst of the worst conditions. They're not
living
pampered.
off of our bacteria.
Yeah, listen, they're not getting a fucking shot of insulin every day, John. They're not shoveling fucking 16 ho-hos down their fucking throat.
Not eating their square meals.
And what are the big comorbidities? In New York City, the biggest comorbidity is obesity, like we went over last week. And then diabetes is another one of those outside of age. So, and the other thing is, let's be honest, out of that homeless population, only so many of them are going to be the age of being in a nursing home. And again, those ones, they're the survivors anyway.
You usually don't grow old as a homeless person, yeah.
So again,
you might look old.
So that's another thing Cuomo actually mentioned today was doing random testing finally. So not just on people that look symptomatic, large swaths.
That's very, invasive. That's very in your fucking business.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think it's random in the sense that they're just doing it without saying to people. I don't know that. I would be against that. If they're allowing anybody to come in and test, from a certain area or paying people to come in and test, you know what I'm saying? So they have an incentive to do it. I'm fine with that. As long as it's voluntary. I think that's the libertarian way to do it, right?
Voluntary.
TSA
is voluntary.
I mean, I don't know how else we would do it. I mean,
we're going to have the TSA set up outside of the grocery store, and you're going to have to take your shoes off and put your bags and shit through the thing, and they're going to fucking stick a thermometer in your ass.
I'm all against. All right, so here's the next one we haven't talked about. Remember last week I was telling you how my my cousin
It's
was up at
like,
the
hey,
facility and tested, right?
we all got to sacrifice.
She tested positive, John.
Oh,
So my
wow.
so my cousin tested positive. She feels fine. But remember, they told her the first time when she tried to get the test, and on the third time they gave it to her, and she supposedly came back negative, right? She had pneumonia. She never had pneumonia in her life. She felt like she was going to die. She's not diabetic. She's in good shape, blah, 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 blah. It was the worst thing she ever had. She feels fine now. They called her, and they didn't say that she tested positive for antibodies, aka she got over it. They said that she currently had it. So I don't know, man. The whole thing is bizarre. I think the country should open. I think that we have to go with treatments outside of ventilators. I think that people should now, if they're testing or they're thought to be sick from this, we have enough makeshift facilities, right? Now we should be able to take them immediately to the makeshift facility and have people that want to be tested, people that are suspected of having this, and people that are confirmed of having this in each area. And that's how we got to deal with it, right? Because I'm all in agreement. We can't shut down the country much longer. Today,
Mhm.
oil is fucking negative. Did you see that?
That's ridiculous.
Dude, it's
It's,
it's
yeah,
fucking negative. Guys, oil closes
that's ridiculous. Because nobody's out traveling, nobody's flying, nobody's going anywhere, so they don't need it. And then
below.
you had people having a pissing contest. Was it Russia and Saudi having a pissing contest?
John, look at this number. Look at this number. It closed at
They're gonna
negative,
start giving gas away at the pump.
not giving, negative 37.63 a barrel. It's almost negative $40 a barrel. Guys, that's like
If
a
I go to Costco right now, they're gonna pay me to take the gas.
they should. That'd be hilarious. How
Oh
awesome would
man,
that be?
great.
Fill her up
Make,
and give me $40.
make some money. That 22-gallon tank will pay off.
Dude, we're in some interesting times. I'll say this. I'm glad that Cuomo has pushed back on any militarization. You know, that hasn't gone out of control. I'm extremely happy that I was wrong about that aspect of this. At the same time, it doesn't seem like it's going to be ending anytime soon in larger areas, even though people think that we're going to reopen. And the other thing I'm fearful of is that the predator class would make sure outbreaks
They're
happen.
already starting to move. Like the people who default and can't afford to buy pay their mortgage. Like the predator class is going to come in, swoop in, buy up all those properties, turn them into rentals. People are going to have a harder time getting qualified for loans in order to buy a house. So you're going to have even fewer owners, and you're going to have, even more consolidated power of the housing, and they're just going to be able to fix the rates at a high place and drive people out and force people into slavery.
And yeah,
Back to
automate a lot of things
feudalism.
while everybody's not working. I think that's that this is you're going to see. In fact, guys, look at it. Today, what did win? Walmart hits record high. Amazon not far from one. Weird.
So yeah, so you're going to see Walmart and Amazon buying up a lot of other companies or industries as an investment. It's going to
Unbelievable.
happen.
Unbelievable. Here we are.
Just
It's
because
2020.
no one else is going to have the capital to get things moving.
Well, that's
So
the other thing. They printed the
these big
capital out of
behemoths are going to
nowhere.
come in and they'll swoop in and they'll own it. It'll be kind of like it'll be like what's the Demolition Man where Taco Bell was owned all the restaurants. Well, it'll be like two companies will own freaking everything.
I mean, they're
You'll
almost
go to the
already
bar.
there.
You'll go to the bar and it'll be the Amazon bar.
I-
You have to order your drinks.
I mean, how do we stop it though? Well, I mean, at this point, most people are just going to be
Walmart.
so happy to have a job after this. You know what I mean? Like, I can't wait to have a job. And at the same time, I still think people don't realize how infectious this thing is and how it is, because there's some people that really just don't think this is real. I mean, still,
Mm-hmm.
they really don't believe it.
100% think it's something. Yeah, my 8-year-old thinks it's a scam.
Yeah, he's hashtag film your
I don't know if
hospital.
he's listening. I don't know who he's listening to, but like he thinks it's a scam.
That's what people don't get. It can be a bioweapon. It can be really infectious, and
I
then
mean,
it's
I
not.
personally know two people who've been infected or who've been affected by it. So I mean, I know it's real. It can happen.
You know what? Let's go full circle because I forgot to bring this back up. This was probably the most frightening part of the Mike Zwick interview, and why you might want to stay at least in the United States, or who knows. Again, hopefully it never gets this
Yeah,
scary here. But he said, and they were locked in, I think, at least 2-3 weeks before we were. He mentioned
they're
that.
locked in their like little district, and they can't leave their little district.
Yeah. And he said it's a military operation where they go house to house and they do the contact tracing. You know, that's a big buzzword here. Only they treat it like a military operation and pull you
Hmm.
from the house. I mean, when I heard him say that, I was like, God damn, Mike Zwick. God damn.
Scary.
That is frightening. And he didn't seem that
Mhm.
phased by it. He was
He
like
was
all
kind of
for it.
Mike is a little bit yeah, he was a little bit for it. He's not a friend of the germs.
I
Mike
guess
is not
not.
a
Well, you know what?
yeah.
He had the death rate wrong, too. He said 41% of people that get it die. And see, that's the thing. All this misinformation and disinformation.
Yeah.
And
People
you
man,
can
that Scott Adams book is really good. He talks about how people already think what they want to think, and then they find the information to make the story true.
Thank you. There's so much confirmation bias going
Mhm.
on around this. And listen, here's the deal. Especially when I'm talking about this, it kills me. Guys, I wouldn't be telling you that I'm talking to 3 different medical personnel in 3 different places in the city if I wasn't. I wouldn't be posting their words on screen. I wouldn't be giving you real numbers. I wouldn't be able to say, hey, by the way, the official numbers are posted, and out of nowhere, almost 17,000 more people are dead this year in a similar time frame. Now you can believe that it's a really bad
Yeah,
flu season.
they were gonna die anyways. It was gonna happen anyways.
Exactly. And you can believe that it's normal to have 15 pages of
You
obituaries in the Boston
gotta cut
Globe.
the outlier months off from the average.
But then they say I'm a fearmonger that wants to be locked down by the government. I'm like, no, I don't. I want a real solution. I want people to know what their options are outside of going on a ventilator. For not just the antivirals, but the vitamin C, the vitamin D transfusions, the steroids, the things they're actually using, the NO2 nebulizers. I could continue. Just like that Dr. Seidel who went semi-viral. That's why they're saving more lives. Because guess what? They're not putting as many fucking people on ventilators. So I'm not pro lockdown. People are actually dying. Yes, a lot of hospitals are empty, but I also happen to be in the state with the most fucking cases. And by the way, they still haven't even released the numbers nationally or state by state on the amount of people that have died in the nursing homes. Those numbers are fucking huge. You want to know why there's, let's go back to that again.
Mhm.
Where's that number?
Yeah.
9,000 plus. 9,000 plus unknown deaths. I'll bet you at least
So
5 or 6 of those are
grandma,
in, yeah, old folks' homes. Let's be honest. Old folks' homes. So yeah, maybe grandma did die of a heart attack, but maybe grandma was doing okay and she got the COVID and forget about it. I don't know.
mhm.
You know? Uh, John, you got anything to add during this COVID 1984 broadcast?
Um, just man, make a schedule. Stick to your schedule. Is the only thing that can give you any type of like resemblance to order, because it's really easy to get sucked into just the same blah nothing of day to day. Like every day is a holiday weekend, and you eat and get fat, and you don't do your workouts, and you don't do anything to try to get yourself moving forward. Like it's a great time to learn a new skill or pick up a new hobby. Maybe learn to play an instrument, something.
Wait, what's your handle over at Rockfin?
At Fitch, I believe.
At Fitch, no John. Okay. Let's bring that up because Fitch can actually show you, if you're a premium, not only boomer and toots, but how to eat, how to choke a
Okay.
man.
Yep. I got some. Yeah, I was initially going to move a lot of and do a lot of technique videos, but with the lockdown, I'm limited to people to work with.
Yeah, but those are free too. All you guys got to do is sign up and
Yeah,
follow Fitch.
I
So
put
let's
up
get him to
because
1,000
the ones I
followers.
put up were like old ones from YouTube that I remastered a little bit,
Mhm.
and yeah. So the ones that are free, they're free because you can see them on YouTube. Also, I'd put them up on Patreon before, but I kind of shut the Patreon down because it just
Patreon's
wasn't
beat.
gaining traction.
Fuck Patreon. Fuck you, Patreon. I'm a GoFundMe man all day. You can kiss my ass. Fucking YouTube can kiss my ass too, even though we're on this platform. Demonetized me when I'm not only a fucking guy in good stand. I 0 strikes. You know what? I'm bringing that on screen.
Yep.
We're doing it live, Fitch.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Look, again, harmful fucking
I'm annoyed
content.
enough that they demonetize all my shit, and then I got to go back and request a review afterwards. And like, I'm not even getting that many views, so I end up missing out on all the views that I do get because like they watch the video in the first couple of days.
It's unreal.
So like, yeah, it's like
Bullshit.
why? What's the point?
You know, they at least had me there, and I had the super chats. I just want to say it again. I've been partner verified. This channel's from 2007. No copyright strikes. Over 1,100 plus videos. No community guideline strikes ever. And they just took out my ineligibility. Why? Again, harmful content. Won't tell me what it is. It's ridiculous. It just shows you how biased this platform is, and that's why I not only
Can't
have a rock
educate
fin
the
like Fitch.
masses. You're not allowed to break the script. I was getting pushed back this morning. I commented on Twitter about how working with the kids for their homeschooling, how kind of not it's easy, but it's very doable. It doesn't take that much time. You get to spend time with your kids. It's kind of fun. You turn it into a game. It's almost like a board game. It only takes a couple hours to 3 hours at the most a day. Well, we were taking a little bit longer because we had to play catch up because we couldn't figure out the login stuff the first few weeks. But now we're caught up. So you're doing like maybe 2 hours a day, and the kids get through it fast. They learn pretty quick. How is it taking this long for them to learn when they're in actual school? I mean, it just seems like it's such an easier path, like to use computer technology and and
The
teach
only
them
problem
yourself at
there
home.
is the human interaction. I think that there's that's the only reason that I'm kind of against homeschooling, because I'm all for, you especially having a large role in your child's education. But
Hmm.
the one thing that's good about school is there's a little bit of a jungle aspect in there. At some point, you kind of get in there with cliques, the social aspects, you see manipulation, or you don't. You become a chump. But later on, you might understand those things better. And sports is very important to me. And just for that competition. The other thing I like about sports, I've said this time and time again, is you can build your own little friend cliques. They're not necessarily going to be on your baseball team. So you might hate Johnny Asshole over there, but he might be your
Hmm.
best baseball player, and now you got to work together. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
I think that a lot of that socialization can be done through sports. You can send your kid to drama club classes. You can send them to art stuff. You can send them to music, dance. You have all kinds of things, and you have more control over the circle that's going to be around them. And I think the idea that sending your kid off to public school is going to teach them a positive way to deal with people and react to certain, life situations. I don't know if that's really true.
I don't think it is.
I think maybe that you're teaching them to maneuver around a lesser tier, if you're doing that,
Well, I
I don't
think that
know.
you also kind of get them ready for the authoritarian nature of
Mhm.
reality. You know what I
It's
mean?
true.
Which sucks. Kind of like that top down. But that's the other thing. Most of our kids, not everybody's going to be fucking John Fitch choking a motherfucker out going his own way. Most people, or even Jason Burmis, in a spare room, yabbering at a fucking camera as a beauty school dropout and a documentary filmmaker. Most fucking people, my friends,
Mhm.
they went the safe way.
A
They
lot of people
went,
want to punch the clock. Yeah.
yeah, they punch a clock, man. A lot of them are teachers, you know what I mean? But at the same time, they're teachers and they know after 25, 30 years they get to retire. They go to that same place every single day. They have that stable job. They have their
Mhm.
benefits, whether it's an office or, anything, whether it's retail or whatever. I hope that model does change. I think that unfortunately it's going to have to change because most people, especially those that are in fast food, especially automation's taking them out quick.
Mhm.
You still need a delivery driver now, but 10 years from now, I hate to tell you, there's zero chance you're going to be employed. 10 years from, mark my words, by 2030, the drones will be delivering every fucking thing. Every fucking thing.
Well, it'll also be that people can't afford cars anymore, and all of the rich companies and people with money buy up all the cars, and then they rent the cars out to drivers to do deliveries.
Well, the other thing is, de Blasio's already saying they're not going to have as much movement on New York City streets after this. They're going to regulate travel in some sense.
Yeah.
Um,
They're gonna tag people. They're gonna want you're gonna have a card. That's what it's gonna be. When for us to get up and operating, you're gonna have some kind of reliable test so they can test you, but they're also gonna have some kind of certification system in place so that they know you've been tested. You're telling the truth about where you've been tested and where you've been and who you've been in contact with. That's all electronical leashes.
well, all the Bill Gates stuff going on. I mean, all that. I'm no fan of Bill Gates, and I don't think that he started this, but I'm certainly never a fan of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I don't know how you could trust anybody that went from I want to make computers and video games to I want GMO mosquitoes to be able to give people vaccines. What? Whoa, Bill. Whoa, whoa. What else do you want to do? I'd like to be able to control the weather and knock out hurricanes. Well, Bill, slow down. Whoa.
Slow down, buddy.
Hey, whoa, whoa. Wait, we can also have identification through nanobot technology.
Nope.
Bill,
Pass.
whoa,
Like
whoa, whoa. You watch Westworld, John?
I have not seen it, but I also know what people do with technology. People with power do with technology, and I see what technology does to things and people. And I know, no thanks. I'll pass. I'd love to have some nanobots that would go in and restructure and fix my neck and my back and all my joints and shit. That'd be awesome. But I also know the trade off would be that like some evil mother grabber would also have those nanobots that could send them and use them to turn me inside out.
Well, you know
So
what?
like
One of the things
I don't
that
know if I don't know if I'm ready to take that risk yet.
I'm certainly not. I'm not ever willing to take that risk.
I think we're pretty good. Technology's pretty good. Some of the streaming stuff could get a little bit better, a little freer. For people to operate.
I'll tell you what, the
But
service I got right now that I've been using is pretty good. But the only reason I ever really had it was the live sporting events. And yeah, there is no. And that's the other thing. I bought a
oh,
fucking
that's
year
fun.
of DAZN. I bought a year of DAZN. I haven't watched a fucking boxing match live in what,
Oh
like
man,
6 weeks? Um, what else? Haven't unsubscribed to ESPN Plus, even though it's fucking absolutely worthless. But what are you gonna do? Even without
yeah.
MMA, there's mixed
So
martial arts.
how are these channels? How are these things gonna recover from this? No, I mean they're all owned by a bigger conglomerate, so they're probably not gonna to like go under.
Well, Dana admitted Disney was the one that called him and fucking shut down the other one. He said he would have told
Yeah,
anybody else to fuck off.
yeah.
Like Disney literally fucking called him.
Yeah, because that's the real mafia.
Yep, that is the real mafia. It's a serious. You're 100% right. And guys, what a mixed martial mindset. No MMA, no problem. We've got Epstein Island as Fight Island, breaking that on a day
That's
when Walmart hit highs, and unbelievably, oil plunged to almost negative $40 a
it's
barrel.
wild, man.
Wild
So like,
times.
so I've been on the Robinhood app, right? I use
Uh-huh.
the Robinhood app. If anybody wants to use my link to get a deal or whatever, hit me up on Twitter. But anyways, so I've been watching the markets a little bit, and they hit the bottom, and then they've been working their way up. There's some stocks that are looking okay, and I've made a little bit of money here and there on my day trading bull crap. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I just can't help but feel like where is this coming from? Like, where is the money coming from to like push these stocks back up? Because nobody's working, nobody's buying
They
a lot of
printed
this
six
shit,
fucking plus trillion dollars, and they gave the
right?
majority to
Is
them.
it is it just a bunch of rich dudes who are throwing big wads of money
It's
at
not
these
even.
things, playing the market,
It's the
or
Federal Reserve buying in. And the thing is, all the money they've given, all right, so like all the money they gave to small businesses, that $10,000 to $12,000, that's a loan, bro. That's a loan. They all have to
so
pay that out.
that's the game, is to you know buy stuff now and be able to determine when it's going to pop again before you sell it. Is that
Look at
going to
it
be in the
this way,
next six
John.
months?
John, think of it
Like
this way. What were you talking about?
3 months, 2 months, 1 month? Like,
They
but the next
inflate the market,
announcement of the market not opening for a little bit.
inflate the market, give out loans to businesses to keep them afloat a little bit more for belief. Those people still investing in the market, etc. 6 to 12 months from now, their business can't last because there's large swaths of the economy still shut down because this is
People have
chaos.
no money to spend. People aren't going to go out. People aren't spending. There's no consumer.
Guess who gave them the loan? The government. Now the
Yep.
government owns that property. Now the government can dole that property out to Walmart or Bezos and Amazon, and they can consolidate power.
Or they can nationalize it and make it socialist.
Oh, I don't want to even think about that. I mean, look, man, I'm
Ooh.
no fan of Trump lately. I can tell you that. Not that I've ever been a huge fan of the Trumpster, as why should I be? He had his moments, and he's funny, and he's right about a lot of things.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
but he failed on a lot of issues.
He failed on
So like
this. He failed by
a lot of
letting
issues.
guys like
He
Mike
he wasn't
Pompeo.
he wasn't the emperor king we thought he was going to be, but he still did way better than the other option.
Oh, well, look at Biden right now. You see Biden's
Oh
interview on
Jesus,
CNN
he'll
2 days
do he'll do
ago.
way better than that option too. That guy's senile. He's lost it. He's lost the script.
Did you see it? The one with Sanjay Gupta and Anderson Cooper?
No, I
Oh
didn't.
my, let's see if we can find it, John. It is fantastic.
I've been catching lots of people always post little flubs that he makes. It's gotten bad. Like I'm just kind of over it.
I mean, dude, he looked so bad on this one. You know what? Twitter has it. I think it's
I
this one.
caught a little bit of Dan Crenshaw and Bill Mayer.
I missed that. How was that?
It was a chainsaw to the face.
What were they talking about?
He kept just trying to bring out all these points and mistakes that ways to blame Trump for COVID-9 or whatever in his response. And he had a beautiful counter to everything he said, and they were trumpeting BS because the day that before he put the ban out, like Pelosi was trying to do a bill that like banned the banning of foreign travel or whatever.
Okay.
So then they try to criticize him of the exact same thing, or not closing it down soon enough. But like at the same time, they were trying to pass a bill, so like, it's just hypocritical and it's ridiculous. To,
Listen,
try
I
to
don't think it
paint
was
in
bad
paint
on
in
him
that.
because of what the WHO and all that was saying, but obviously the intelligence networks knew it was way worse than what they were saying and what China was saying. But again, that bureaucracy keeps the truth from the top, and people like Pompeo and fucking Gina Haspel and all these pieces of shit on the inside don't say anything because they work for the predator class. And this is the guy, guys, this is the guy they're trying to say is going to beat the other guy.
Kinds of things that have to be done. There's during World War II, where Roosevelt came up with a thing that was totally different than he called it the World War II. He had the War Production Board. Kinds of things that.
By the way, I'm not even sure that he had the War Production Board or that was a Roosevelt thing. I want to guess.
That was a real thing, yeah.
It might have been, but I think that he was trying to think of the Works Progress Administration, the WPA, because they were talking about the economy and getting it going and things like that. Biden, come on, you're visibly senile. I can't believe they're putting you on television. JohnFitch.net is where you can find it all, including your newsletter, the YouTube, the book, right? Links to the book.
Links to the book, the weight cut Bible, and the I also have my other book, Failing Upward: Death by Ego. You can check them both out. You can sign up for the newsletter and get on my email list, and you can keep up to date with everything I'm doing, where I'm going, whether I'm in the living room or in the kitchen. But yeah, everything's on johnfitch.net.
And it is thegruelingtruth.com, guys. That's where you can find the audio version of this. Remember, we're both on Rockfin, rockfin.com/Fitch. Got a bunch of free stuff here. You can follow Fitch, follow myself, endorse either of us. It gets us some of those tasty Ray tokens. And then I've got the GoFundMe. $5, $10, $15 means the world to me. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and check out all my documentary films, Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture, free right here on this YouTube channel that I expect will get thrown off within the next 2 months. I probably have less than 60 days on the platform, so make sure you get to Rockfin. Again, it doesn't matter that I have 0 strikes. I've been on it for well over a decade. I don't know what else to say. 0 anything. They've already taken it away, but I am apparently harmful content. So Fitch, hopefully,
man.
Yeah, hopefully like 3 weeks from now, because I figure I got 6 weeks, right? 6, 7, something like that. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about real MMA, like not on an Epstein fight island, but like.
Let's hope not. That's such a bizarre turn of events that it would be. But I mean, we're look at the source. I don't know how.
I bet you. Listen, man, I'll tell you what.
Reliable source.
Listen, I doubt it would be Little St. James. Stetler. I bet you Greater St. James, dude. I guarantee it. Greater St. James was like he was trying to build stuff on it. So he wasn't like on it. You know what I mean? There was Midway Construction. He got it through proxy companies.
There's not yet any child rape that had happened.
Well, let's not get crazy. The man buys a piece of property. He likes to rape a child.
He's going to break it in. Yeah, that's right.
Not the way I should have ended it. Guys, I love you. This has been a fun mixed martial mindset. Fitch, we'll see you next week, bro.
Check you later.